Now, coming up, those joining us for the news review, we have Dr. Kwame Asante. He is a political scientist. He is also head of the Center for European Studies at the University of Ghana. We have Dr. Jabir Mohammed. He's a senior lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School. And joining us in the studio, Moses Benisan. He's a financial consultant and a man of the cloth. He's a pastor as well. All of them join the conversation. And of course, to my left, you have Red Riding Hood.
So I moved from Mary Poppins, now I'm Red Riding Hood.
You're in red today, so Red Riding Hood.
I love red. Gentlemen, good morning. I'm the only lady among you, so let me take it over from here. Usually we give our guests about 2 minutes most to walk us through their reflections on any topical issue. But I want to start from Zoom, and then I'll circle back to you. Good morning, Dr. Kwame Asante. Share your thoughts with us this morning. Do we have Dr. Kwame Asante on Zoom yet?
Okay. Sweetie, and good morning. Good morning, Sweetie.
I think we have a bit of a challenge with...
I greet also.
Okay, Doc, let me move to Dr. Mohammed. There's some challenge with your connection. So give me some time. Let me go back to Dr. Mohammed. I'll circle back to you. We're struggling with your connection, Dr. Kwame Asante. So, Dr. Mohammed, let me throw the baton to you now. What's on your mind? What are you sharing with us this morning?
Yeah, good morning to you and good morning to our listeners. This morning, I want to go to the nurses' strike. Honestly speaking, yes, strikes are very important. These are ways that labor have to use, be able to unravel their challenges. But sometimes the demand that we make will sometimes be very difficult for the government to be able to meet. I just went through some of the demands that they are making. And honestly speaking, the government says that it's going to cost them about 2 billion Ghana cedis to be able to resolve it annually. And some of the items they have in their demand, I ask myself whether those items are really warranted, and whether those items are really what they should be asking for. For instance, I saw one of them which says that they want a funeral grant. I'm wondering why should they be requesting for a funeral grant? If they are requesting for a risk allowance, I don't know whether that is already in their salary, in their pay slip, but if they're asking for risk allowance, that is more justifiable and more reasonable in my candid opinion. They have the right, all right, but some of the items in their request is something that I find a bit worrying. And another one I also see is that they're asking for fuel allowance and they're asking for kilometric allowance. I don't know the difference between the fuel allowance and the kilometric allowance. Whether the kilometric allowance is for how long or the distance that they travel or what to their workplace. And even with that, you are already taking fuel allowance. And you also want car maintenance allowance, which I think these are justifiable ones. And another one, they say they want book and research allowance. I don't know whether they also do research at their workplaces like we academia do or not. If they do not do, why should they be requesting for book and research allowance? Maybe they could substitute that with continuous improvement allowance, something that because that is more.
But Doc, you see, the thing is, they're saying that they've moved past negotiations at this point. These are conditions of service that were agreed upon, pen was put to paper. It's just about implementation at this point of the conversation.
Someone can agree, someone can review. So the government should consider reviewing some of the agreement. Okay, they can come and say, okay, well, you have agreed on this, but we think that in our candid opinion, ABCD may not be something that we want to honor, but we can review that and substitute that with another items. And they say they want 13th month allowance. Most of these organizations are consumption institutions. They don't generate much. So even if you want 13th month allowance, you should be an organization that is generating enough to be able to pay off all your claims, and you still have something reserved so that that can be paid to you. So if any other government worker will come and say that we also demand 13th allowance, how is it going to look like? We lecturers, we work 24/7. if you are sleeping, we sleep with problems. We wake up with problems. All the time we are working. Even during vacation, we are working. Yet, we cannot come and say we are demanding for 13 months allowance.
Dr. Mohammed, you've exhausted your 2 minutes, and I'm sure we'll come back to this striking nurses story again, because it's all over in the newspapers this morning. So let me go to Dr. Kwame Asante, and then when we get into the newspapers proper, we can get more time on this. Dr. Kwame Asante, hopefully we've resolved your connection now. Please share your thoughts with us this morning. It looks like today we have a bit of challenge with Dr. Kwame Asante. So let me come back into the studio.
Hello?
Oh, hi, Doc. Please go ahead if you can hear me.
Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Is it clear?
Yes, it's better now.
All right.
Doc, what are your thoughts for us this morning before we proceed?
Issues. And
he's speaking, but it's not clear.
I think he's now hearing what I said.
Please, can you hear me?
We can, Doc.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's come to the studio. We'll continue with Doc later. This is a bit of a challenge with us this morning. Okay. Pastor, good morning again.
Good morning.
What's on your mind? I mean, there's so much going on in the country, but it's your take now.
Yes, there's so much going on, and I believe that it's all very important. And when things happen like that, we are able to build consensus and then forge a path into the future. I believe that it is government's responsibility to rally everybody around in order for us to make the progress that we want to make. As much as leadership decision-making processes are very important, I believe the Bible said when the righteous rule, the people rejoice. So I always caution our leaders to have clarity of thought, to also have the welfare of the people at heart. So that whenever we are making decisions, the decisions we are making them on the basis of what we believe is good for the people and for the country. As much as leadership has responsibilities, I believe that we, the citizens, also have a lot to do.
Right.
And so in certain countries, it is a deliberate decision to nurture citizens to become very patriotic. So they train the head for you to be intelligent. They train the hand to be very hardworking and industrious, and then they train the heart. That is where the whole issue is, the heart, so that we all put the interest of the nation ahead of our emotions and individual party connections.
Thank you so much. Can I stick to Pastor Moses?
Yes,
Yes,
please.
okay, great. So, Benjamin, do you want to try again? I don't know if...
Let's see whether... Dr. Asante, can you hear us, please?
Yes.
Okay. What are your brief thoughts for us so we can proceed? We'd like to actually start the conversation off from the standpoint of education, but what are your thoughts for us?
Right. I want to look at the nurses issue. We want to urge the nurses to meet with government, find a lasting solution to this problem. We know that and they are fighting for it. And but we also that the people are also suffering. They must also look back and see this. I find it very worrying because something that has been agreed by government, all parties sign, nurses sign, fair wages, government sign, nurses sign. Why is it that government say that? Budgets, my understanding is that things that are of importance, the budget, are the things that get in. So it tells me that, look, the government did not, it was not a priority of government. That's unfortunate. Because this thing, what the government you don't have the resources, have a conversation with them that we can pay you X amount and then stagger the rest from next year and all that. If it's about ex gratia, you will put it in the budget. Some actors must benefit from it. That's unfair. It's unfair to the nurses. We take their also issue matter. Nurses are also important. Let us not gloss over that. But you would have put it in the budget. And that, I think, is unfair. They should be able to what? Do something that will bring smiles on both parties.
Well, thank you, Dr. Kwame Asante, for those brief thoughts this morning. Let's get straight into the newspapers. Daily Graphic first? That's the major...
Well, yes, we'll do the Daily Graphic, but don't you forget, we'll also be delving into that issue in respect of education, BECE, exam malpractices, and some circumstances at different centers. Hopefully this time we can weather the storm. We'll bring you some footage on that in a bit. But very quickly, the Daily Graphic newspaper, nurses strike, government committed to dialogue. Dr. Asante was just talking about whether there were in fact plans to adhere to the commitments made in 2024, May 2024. I heard yesterday talk about how this will add an extra 2 billion Ghana cedis to, these compensations that have been planned, and how that could throw some things out of gear in the budget. But at the same time, once these commitments have been made, how do we handle them? Government has spoken about next year, 2026, and the GRNMA is saying no way. But how do we break the standoff? That issue is there. More data for same price from July the 1st, Sam George assures. Chamber of Licensed Gold Buyers secures EPA fee waiver. Explore investment opportunities back home. Diaspora Investment Forum speakers. On the back page, squatters pose threat to Ghana-Lebanon Islamic School, and timber racketeers invade Abutia Game Reserve. Let me start from there. So armed timber racketeers believed to be coming from a neighboring country have invaded the Kalakpa Game Reserve in Abutia in the Ho West District in the Volta region. They cut trees and hunt buffaloes and antelopes in the reserve with impunity. Now, unless drastic steps are taken to halt the trend, the reserve will soon become a desert, the paramount chief of Abutia, Togbegan Abutia Kojo Gidi, the 5th, has said. He disclosed this to the Daily Graphic after a tree planting exercise in the Abutia communities of Teti, Agobe, and Chloe last Sunday as part of activities in the commemoration of this year's World Environment Day. This comes across as so sad. People can come from a neighboring country, enter our forest, do what they like, benefit from it, and go back. Similar to Galamsey, where a lot of those in the industry are foreigners. Then on the story of the squatters, the Ghana-Lebanon Islamic Secondary School has sent a distress call to the government and relevant state security agencies to take immediate steps to demolish a slum community around the school. The nefarious activities of squatters at a sprawling slum that straddles the Odo River from the Graphic Road to the old Kwame Nkrumah Circle area are posing serious safety and security threats to GLIS. Why I'm also highlighting this story has to do with a plethora, not just of schools, institutions in this country that have suffered same. If you look at my alma mater, the University of Ghana, even that institution has had its own struggles in there. Atomic, right? The Ghana Atomic, entity, it has had its own struggles, encroachment and all of that. Why do we always wait for this to happen? Let me just add this story for now, the banner headline on the nurses' strike. So the Minister of Health, Kwabena Minta-Akando, has reiterated the government's commitment to resolving the ongoing strike by the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association through dialogue, and he has urged the association to call off its strike in the interest of patients. Addressing the media at the Jubilee House yesterday, Mr. Akando expressed regret over the impasse which had disrupted healthcare services across the country. Let me hold it there and get your responses, gentlemen. I'll start with you, Dr. Mohammed. Hello, Dr. Mohammed. Dr. Jabir Mohammed, are you with us?
Perhaps unmute.
I can hear you now. Please go ahead.
Okay, so the issue of the timber I mean, it's our Ministry of Environment and Science and also Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. They have to just up their game in most of these game reserves. And frankly speaking, if you continue to have your game and your timber being depleted, it is something really very serious. And they have to take critical steps to be able to unravel this particular situation. If they are able to do so, we can maintain our environment sound. I remember recently that the green tree planting project, one student for one tree was launched recently. And this is something that we need to encourage, even in our homes. We have to be able to plant trees so that we can conserve the environment. Our schools, our workplaces, etc., tree planting is very important. So it's not just only on the game reserves, but we have to take critical steps to stop that. And also, the security agencies must work very hard, hand in hand with them, so that they can put a stop to this. Now, on the issue of the squatters, after the squatters, they are everywhere. They come into your land by small pieces. By the time you realize they have spread all over the place. So, I mean, the place, they did not just start right now. They started a very long time. One person will come, another person will come. So as they keep coming, you have to find ways and means of getting them out of the place. Otherwise, by the time you realize, they have taken all over all the whole place. If you look at Accra Girls, in front of Accra Girls, you will see some people sitting there and all of that. They took steps to be able to remove them. So if you go to that place, you will not see a lot of people there. Most often they start by hawking. So if you leave them continue to hawk there, by the time you realize they have mounted some shelves to sleep in there and keep their wares there. So these things, we can easily do them if you plan the city properly. AMA has to be serious about it. KMA has to be serious about it. All the assemblies have to be serious about hawking. They have to be serious about people who do squattering in some of these places. Now, finally, on the nurses AMPAs, I believe that the ministry is really working very hard, and the ministry should be able to resolve the problem. I was just speaking about some of the items in their demand, even though I don't have anything against them because it is their right to demand for some of these things. But I was always saying that we have to be reasonable in some of the demands. And it has to make sense, because if it doesn't make sense, all other group of labor unions will come and say that they also need some of these things. And how is the government going to resolve them? Something like fuel allowance, car maintenance allowance, risk allowance, and all of that is actually related to their work. Professional allowance. How can you be working and you expect government to pay for your professional allowance? I mean, this one, I don't know whether accountants and other people, the government pay for their professional allowance. If government is not doing that, I think that they should also take that component. These things has been agreed upon. So they have to find ways and means of resolving the issue. Because the items are so many, it is difficult for the government to be able to honor that obligation. So they can come into an agreement with them so that they can strike a balance.
Right.
And they can come back and take care of us.
Dr. Mohammed, just a quick follow-up on this. I have a message coming through from one Abdul Rashid Awimpang, who says, there is nothing like, and he sort of sent me a Facebook Messenger message. So I'm assuming he's a nurse. He says, there's nothing like kilometric and vehicle maintenance allowance in the current conditions of service. And he also says on research allowance, book and research allowance is for our nurses in academia and not everyone. And he also says that some nurses are lecturers in training institutions. I just wanted you, since you are talking about that, are you cognizant of these facts?
No, I'm not privy to that. That's why I was only asking that, are they also doing research that is warranting them to be taking book and research allowance? But if he says that those who are teaching in nursing institutions, that is justifiable because they also have to research, they also have to, because they have nursing training schools. These are nursing training schools. So those people are dual workers. They work as nurses and they also they also teach at the training school. And these people are justifiable. They can be put under the Ministry of Education and they can be given book and research allowance. And for that one, it is because you cannot be teaching without research. And if you don't research, how do you improve on your output?
Right.
So I believe that is more justifiable.
All right. Let me bring in Dr. Kwame Asante, and then we'll come into the studio and Sweetie will take it from there. Doc, what is your take on these stories?
Yeah. Ben, I'm not able my video. Can you help me out?
I think maybe because of the quality, because of the internet, if you use video, it will stall even more. So it's better to stick to the sound.
Okay with that. Let me start with those who forest with impunity. It's worrying. Tied with Galamsey activities and all that. Then I ask myself, is Ghana or our sovereignty is being taken away? Because the people and all the lands within your power is that part of our land is taken over by miscreant people who do not have power to do that. It is not the case that I'll fight this battle. I trust Ghana Army and I'll always vouch for them for that. The political class have not given them opportunity to act the way they ought to. Sense must cease. We are here and people are depleting the forest. The state must begin to what? Act and act very, very fast. We have institutions and continue to serve this country well. Why don't you engage them and route all these people from the forest? What an ecosystem, which is what very, very, very few of squatters. It's a long story. They've been, and we don't know whether our authorities are aware. They do, what are they doing to what? Get them what? It's a worrying situation because not only do they squat activities that are inimical to the survival of the state, that are this land. So I believe that a country like Ghana, which is a country of laws, we should not be able to what? Implement the law to the letter to make sure that all these things come nothing but a thing of the past. Next strike. I'll continue to maintain my government did not do well with them because look, their demands are also critical. So once you look at them, you should meet them halfway. I'm not sure the previous government erred in approving that document. All the things they presented to them, there are people who are experts who and realize that they are fit for purpose. So since government is a continuum to take it upon itself and then, support them, come and tell us that, look, if you put it into the budget, it will throw the greatest respect. It's an insult to the nurses and it's not the best. Government should not make that statement, right? Because if it were ex gratia, you would put it in and benefit from the bulk class. You are shying away from their demand. I agree that the figure is big to pay. Sit down with them and even show them a little payment and then show them the end of the rest. And I'm sure who else will fail and they will accept this.
All right.
I am telling you now, this is the way forward. Do it and we are good to go.
All right. Thank you for those thoughts. Let's come into the studio, Moses.
Yes, very interesting topics. When you read the biblical account, God created forests before he created human beings because he knows that there is no way we can survive here without the trees and the forest, etc. If you look around, there is a lot of pollution around. The air we breathe is not as pure as it is meant to be. And it's very, very unfortunate. When I was growing up, there were parks that you can just walk to go and relax with your family. But now, if you're looking for a place to relax, it's very difficult.
Concrete and quan.
Yes, concrete, like bricks and mortar everywhere. And unfortunately, when we are even building our homes, we still don't take these things into consideration. I believe that we have to be very intolerant and take a very hard stand on this to make sure that we preserve our forest. And also to come to realize that most of these things that are going on are by people who have just invaded our space. I believe that sometimes these people don't just do it alone. They have local collaborators that they collaborate with. And so, therefore, the institutions that are responsible, they must act as soon as possible. A lot of time, we are not very proactive in finding solutions. We wait until it gets into a situation of chaos before we start waking up and tapping people who must do what they have to do. We have to be very serious about resolving this issue. I also believe that the punitive measures should be very clear, should be clear to everybody, so that you know that when you enter a forest reserve, you do things that you're not supposed to do. These are the punishment. And when people are caught or arrested, let's deal with them according to the law or what is stipulated. There is this thing that you get somebody who is doing a wrong thing, and then uncles are coming to beg, aunties are coming to beg. I am a pastor. People will come to me. Someone has stolen, and they've asked me to go and plead at the police station for the person. But you see, we put in a word or two, and then we advise the person who is involved. But then...
Let's stay there for a second. I don't mean to take you on this, but you just said that when people are found culpable, someone commits a crime and you find them, you should hold their feet to account. Let them face justice, right?
Yes.
He who pays the piper dances by a tune, or whatever that's...
Calls the tune,
Yeah. So if someone is going to someone goes to steal something and they come to you as a pastor and they say, please go and plead on our behalf, why would you do that?
Our work is both, is mainly transformational. So it becomes an opportunity for you to actually now spell out the person's wrong to him. And then pray for the person for God's forgiveness. And the rest, you intercede. But
does it work?
The law must always take its course. It works.
So in other words, you're saying you don't interfere with the law.
No, I don't interfere.
But you try to. But by going to plead for the person,
so then what happens is that, you see, what happens is that when you pray for the person, prayer has a way of giving the person encouragement and hope that he can go through the punishment and come out and then forge a better path for himself.
Okay, so if I understand you well, it means you go there, you share, you talk to people, you pray with the person, but you're not telling the police don't do your work.
No. Right. We are not telling the police not to do their work. If not, then why did we appoint them to be there? You see, we have to build a country that laws and systems work. Yeah. If they don't work, all of us are in danger.
And it can't be selective. But I just wanted to run this quickly by you. I just have some headlines I'll go through and then Sweetie will take over. So, because we are talking about exam malpractice and all of that, this also came to mind. I don't know what your take is on it. It's become so rife that they will tell you that as they go higher from JHS to SHS, from SHS to university, at the university level, they will tell you a lot of these people come in with straight A's and sometimes all of these. You put them to the test and they are found, and sometimes shockingly, those that came in with aggregate 12, 10, 15 are the ones who turn out to be the stars in the classroom. I heard a story once in a theology school. And, of course, these are past the sitting exams. And lo and behold, they were cheating. and the person who told me, and no, this actually happened. The person was supervising, and he was saying, but if you, the pastors and the rest, bishops and the rest, you are cheating in the classroom, what will you do out there in church? What's your take on this example practice thing?
Yeah, I mean, like you rightly said, I have been through several theological institutions, and it was a shock of my life.
You saw it too?
So we're writing exams, and then I had, and then when I turned, it was an elderly man who was also in the class with us, and he was giving sign. I was surprised to see something like that happen in a theological institution. You see, when theology establishment doesn't make a pastor out of a person, in a theology establishment, you have a thief who is there. You have a fetish priest who is there. We are there to study. It's an academic environment. And unfortunately, students always want to be students, irrespective of their age or where they are coming from or where they are. But you see, if the foundation is wrong, we will never get it right at any level. That's why I am one person who is of the view that we should really look at the academic system all over again, beginning from the initial stages, so that we nurture values and teach people to be patriotic and do the right things to advance the nation.
Right.
What I would say about this in all is that a research was made, and the outcome of the research was that the countries that were doing well academically are also doing well economically. And the countries that are not doing well academically are also not doing well economically. So there is no way we can separate academic progress from economic progress. So if we want to build the economy of the country and create a better environment for our people, we have to take the academic establishment very serious.
Okay.
Making studies easier for people and letting people study what is relevant for our situation. You see, we learned things in school that we didn't need in life.
Find X.
Find X.
I never found X.
Consider
X,
the table.
X is still on the run.
And then this one, I always make a joke of this, like assuming 5 people clear 3 plots of land within 2 hours.
How long will it take 2 people to?
It has already been cleared.
Sorry.
But you see, I believe that we have to take our educational system very serious and tailor the curriculum to solve our problems.
We need the mathematical acumen and the rest, but not everyone is interested. For example, in my year group, when you get a certain aggregate, they want to push you straight to science. I fare well in the sciences and mathematics and all that, but that was not my passion. That was not my area of interest. I think if we started right from the bottom, letting people lean towards where they are passionate, I think it will help us all. Very quickly, we have to go, and I'll come to you so you share your ideas and then run with the rest of the papers. Kenyan blogger was assaulted to death, and that's an interesting issue happening in Kenya. Politicians accused of Liberia Parliament arson bailed for $440,000. It's interesting looking at the figure involved. Thousands more troops sent to Los Angeles. Sisi, I don't know whether you followed Donald Trump and the whole crackdown. The administration of Donald Trump has sent thousands more troops to Los Angeles on day 4 of chaotic protests against immigration raids as the unrest spread to other U.S. cities. There have been mass protests, 700 Marines sent out. And the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, said the move was fulfilling, quotes, the deranged fantasy of a dictatorial president who will leave the United States to deal with their own issues. And finally, more data for same price from July 1st. Sam George assures. So from July 1st, quoting him, all data bundles will see at least 10% increments in value. For instance, the 400 Ghana cedi bundle currently offering 195 gigabytes will now deliver 236 gigabytes. Another package going for 90 gigabytes for 400 cedis will increase to 250 gigabytes. There are more details on page 13 of the paper. Sweetie, maybe you can find out from our guests whether they have any reflections. If not, we get into other papers.
Yeah, let's get right to it. Dr. Kwame Asante, quick thoughts on the headlines that Ben just read, and then we get into BECE. Dr. Kwame Asante, you can hear me. Please unmute. Okay, Dr. Mohammed, if you're with us, quick reflections on the headlines. What's happening in the USA? For one, I want to stay out of it, but I think there are some things in there that we can emulate. You know, they just ended BET, Benjamin, and how some of the stars who won their awards use those platforms to speak against what Donald Trump is doing, using military personnel to raid people. I mean, I don't want to get into the politics of it, but I'm trying to say that our creative arts industry players should also take a cue from that. And if something is going wrong, don't be afraid of political powers. Speak up, because you have huge platforms, you have huge followings, and that's really where young people, watchers of the economy and the rest, that is where we listen to for the entertainment. So it's good to get some tidbits there as well. Dr. Mohammed, I'm on you now, please. Quick reflections on these stories, especially the data issue. I think that's a big one.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Honestly speaking, after Donald Trump, I don't know how he has already been given the headlines before he became president. He told us what he was in for, and the people of America gave him the mandate. But that doesn't mean that you should take the advantage to get everybody out of the country. You cannot live in isolation. You need people to live with, and most of the immigrants in the country are actually doing some jobs. I know it is important that they should get the right papers. If they don't have, and they have lived the country up to some time, try to see how you can resolve the cases and get some of them the right documents to be able to work within the country. Or if better still, if you still want to deport them, you deport them in an honorable manner. Just look at him. He has had a fallout with even Elon Musk, who did a very serious campaign for him. So his rule is becoming more anarchic and more chaotic, rather than trying to govern and solve the problems of America. So I think that he's becoming more of a nuisance than he's becoming of a leader to the people. Even look at it. They are describing him to be a dictator. How can this be so? A whole America, some of these things do not really happen. It is making us look more superior even than them, because you can't find this in Ghana. Even though we also have a lot of immigrants in the country, we will not take that approach. So I think that he has to relook at some of the things that he does and be able to resolve them. And most of the other people who can talk using the social media, those in the creative arts industry should strengthen their campaigns against him. And I believe that this can go a long way to resolve most of the problems they are facing currently.
Okay.
Now, on the data issue, it is something big, because we researchers are more interested in using data. And even overall, not only researchers, many other users will be very, very happy, because some time back, if I buy the 350 Ghana cedis, I get 250 data points, and now it is just 190. And I'm very happy that it has now moved to 236, which is something that I will really be happy with, because I usually buy my data in bulk. So if this is now happening, why wouldn't I be happy? I mean, and it's going to make businesses more reliable and more, it's going to be more cost effective, because now, the city is now appreciating. So because of that, I think they can also still make their profits as a result of that. So I don't think that we should still keep the data price very high. And internet is very important. Now you cannot do without internet. It has to be accessible to everybody. So I'm really, really happy about that. And I think there was a last issue that you mentioned.
Ben, what was that last issue?
I don't know which of them. Okay, there was the Kenyan blogger. There was the politicians accused of Liberia Parliament arson bail for $440,000. I took the one on the Los Angeles situation and the troops, and then data from July the 1st. So I don't know which one you'd like to.
Now, the issue of the Liberia case is something that they have to really look at, because after a politician, when you begin to corrupt, there should be a collective bargain. The collective bargain in the sense that you need to have the people at heart, work hard for the people, let the condition of the people improve. And after all, you benefit as a result of that. If you look at China, China did a collective bargain with their people. They say, okay, well, we the leaders want to sacrifice for the nation. Let's forget our personal interests. Let's work very hard to ensure that we improve the conditions of the people. And when we improve the economy, overall, all of us are going to be affected in the long run. And they did so. And today, if you look at China, China is becoming a superpower. It's because of the decision that their leaders take. So I will encourage all African leaders to follow the footsteps of China and India and other places because they did a collective bargain. They decided to leave out their personal interests and concentrated on the general will of the people.
Right.
They didn't say that we want to concentrate on our personal interests, but the general will of the people. So politicians must understand that we voted them into power to concentrate our interests, the interests of the nation, but not their personal interests.
All right.
So the person must be dealt with as in accordance with the law.
Thank you, Dr. Mohammed. So, Dr. Kwame Asante, I hear you're back with us now. And on the issue of data costs, the reduction or the increase in data bundles and what's happening in the USA, Donald Trump using military personnel to, should I say, ransack people. But over to you, your quick reflections on these.
Right.
Immigrants.
I think data is life. You need it every time. In this world that we have today, you cannot do without data. But if it is expensive, then it becomes out of reach of ordinary man. Meanwhile, we want ordinary people to be able to access so as to be able to be part and parcel of the information superhighway. So I am happy that we are getting a reduced price in that. As a child of Oliver, I expect more. If we get more reduction, fine. But let's use them wisely and use.
It appears we've lost Dr. Asante again today. The data, the very data he's talking about, that is live, seems not to be helping him much.
Right. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes. Go ahead.
All right. In spite of the challenge, I still believe in the data commission. But having said this, let me look at also, I think you touch on examination malpractice, which caught my attention. It's becoming a ritual. Every year, students will go and write the exam, and we hear of examination malpractice and all that. Very little is done to arrest this problem. Yes. In recent times, what is so worrying is that we have found parents who are part and parcel of these evil business, trying to get questions for their wars and all that. It points to one thing, that socialization has broken down. How we inculcate values in people from childhood to adulthood is gone. Now, parents who are supposed to shepherd these children through this process to become the best for their society, they themselves are guilty. They are complicit. So what do you expect children do? So we as a state must look at these things and how best we can deal with this. You have teachers who cut corners and then promise children heaven and earth that, look, getting to the exam will be able to bring something to you and all that. And in fact, they are able to do that. So why wouldn't parents and students also get attracted to these things? Let us work to the very best of our ability than to cut corners. It doesn't help anybody. Any society that is built on that obviously will crumble. And then I'll touch on the LA issues and matters arising there. It's unfortunate. But people like us, it doesn't come to us as a surprise because Mr. Trump has his own style of governance, and sometimes it's very difficult to understand him. But hey, people get the leaders that they deserve. So what they are experiencing, the good people of America voted for him, And whether they like it or not, they have to bear with that. But it's unfortunate that events have taken a different turn, and matters of this nature, which ought to be approached differently, there is what? Unnecessary abuse of power and then display of power on the part of the president. It's unfortunate because there are so many ways in dealing with such problem than what is being seen now. But hey, people get the government that they deserve.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kwame Asante. People get the government that they deserve. So let me get into the news. Oh, I have to come to you, and then I'll get into my newspapers. Pastor Moses, quick reflections on these as well.
Yes, I believe that the slogan of America is the land of the free, home of the brave. But gradually it's becoming the land of the fearful, home of the terrorized. But you see, we have to identify what made America great. I believe that this slogan captures it, the land of the free, home of the brave. America is America. Sometimes I feel like Donald Trump is very fixated about countries like China and Russia. But China is China. Russia is Russia. This is America. What makes America a beautiful country is based on this. And the fact that they believe that in God we trust. So when you are executing policies, you must do it with human face. The way they heckle people and separating parents from children and etc. I believe that it needs a little more to it. It shouldn't just be that way. There should be some human face to what they are doing. I also want to say that, just to summarize on the education thing, I believe that people have to understand that the first in exam is not always the first in life. But when it comes to education, it's like a competition. Before, when school is about to vacate after the exams, all of us will gather at assembly, and then they will call everyone based on your position. So they start from, not the first, they start from the last. So if it's 34 students, 34, they'll mention your name, will come and stand.
Really?
Yes, that's how it used to be.
Wow.
So they'll call to the first. So everybody will you will know who is first, who is second, who is third, who is fourth, etc., etc. So it creates an environment of competition. Everybody wants to do well. I've seen people destroy others simply because of that. In the class, someone is always first. Then there is the second and the third. They always alternate. And one day, the mother of the one who is always third promised the son that this term I will make sure you come first. Mm-hmm. So the strategy was simple. The one who is always first went out, and then he was able to hire somebody to attack the person, and then the person was rushed to the hospital, couldn't go to write the exam.
Real life story?
Yes, real life story. Real life story. Indeed. That person, his son, was first. But later on, it came out that this is what happened. But then he has already ruined someone's chances and opportunities.
Okay.
So we should also watch unhealthy competition, because sometimes... But when you said this is America, do you remember Childish Gambino's song?
This is America.
and the follow-up, look how we're living now.
Yeah, this is America. Anyway, I mean, you guys should come back. Come back to Ghana. Those in America, come back. You know,
I don't know what they want to fuss about. You don't know what people are. Some people are digging their heels.
Come back. Come and make Ghana great again. Let me get into the newspapers. There are two major stories I want to get into. I haven't seen the second one yet. The first one is right here. OSP wrecks SML's system. The second one will be what happened in Parliament. This is the News Center paper. So let me start with this OSP issue. OSP wrecks SML's system. Looks like it's another dramatic phase in this SML-GRA investigation, with now physical infrastructure has been disabled. So Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited is accusing operatives from the Office of the Special Prosecutor and National Security of dismantling its state-of-the-art real-time monitoring infrastructure, an act the company says could cost Ghana millions of cedis in lost customs revenue daily. Now, I know most of us, all of us here have been following the story, so I'm just going to read the sub-headlines here quickly. So, cables torn, screen shattered, systems crippled. Revenue risk mounts as monitoring goes dark. Distraction sparks outcry. Surveillance system covered fuel depot port activities. List of documents submitted. Massive document submission made ahead of raid. Performance reports and financial records. 11 documents SML did not provide, and OSP accusations deemed vague. Authorities remain silent as operations halted, and motives questioned as public outrage grows. So the question on my mind is, who benefits from destroying these equipment? From what I understand, they have infrastructure that is monitoring real-time, fuel lifting and all that, and we've destroyed that. I know, we all know that GRA-SML deal is still under investigation, and that is another reason why Ken Ofori-Atta is a wanted man right now. And I'm yet to understand exactly why this raid has gone on, but this is not about me. Dr. Kwame Asante, let me start from you. Do you see the sense in what's happening right now? Why they'll destroy these equipments that are actually giving us real-time monitoring? I understand that before SML's equipment, we used to use this dipstick to measure the quantity of fuel in these depots. And now they've destroyed these systems that can help us monitor in real time. I don't understand that, but over to you.
It's also surprising to me because much as I want OSP to work and work very well, I also believe that they work professionally so that things of this nature will not be part of the process. Destroying the very things that we are fighting for, we are protecting. It doesn't make sense to anybody. So I'm surprised, but I believe that they will pick the pieces and make sure that going forward, they do the right thing, because at the
I don't know if you ended your submission or if the network interrupted again, but I'm moving to Dr. Mohammed now. Dr. Mohammed, have you been following the story? What did you make of it? Dr. Jabri Mohammed, if you can hear me, please unmute. We're discussing the OSP matter. The SML OSP now, the raid yesterday at the offices, 2 offices simultaneously, Accra, Tema and Osu, and the equipment that have been destroyed. 3 of their directors have been picked up, and matters are rising.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
So my point is that we all know the issues surrounding SML case, especially the way the contract was signed and everything. And now the special prosecutor is on the former finance minister regarding that. But that notwithstanding, you cannot just go there and raid and destroy the equipment. All the time, I continue to say that raiding is important, but raid with reasonable, with sense. Why do I say you should read with sense? You should read with evidence. If you have an evidence that this is what is the actual thing, you go there and pick it up. But you don't just go there and destroy equipment. You know, what they are doing, SML is carrying out a very, very important strategic, issues regarding our revenue mobilization. There is no doubt about it. If you read more about them, you realize that they are doing something great for the country. But if that notwithstanding, you may have cases with them. So resolve it amicably. You don't just go there and destroy the equipment which they use to be able to do their work and come out with something to support the country. You can audit their system. So right now you have destroyed it. How do you get evidence to be able to even catch the thief that you say you want to catch? Right? Get system auditors, let the system auditors audit, so that if they are undercasting figures or something like that to benefit, you tend to gain all the information out of it. And from there, you can take your decision on that. But now that you have gone to destroy it, how do you get the evidence, the hardcore evidence that you are looking for, to be able to prosecute the agenda that you want to do? So we have to be reasonable in some of the things that we do. it is not always about distractions that bring results. Results can be gotten by using your brain. The brain is more important. It's more powerful than physical strength.
Are you saying in this case they did not use their brain, Dr. Mohammed?
I'm saying that we did not act professionally. That's all what I'm trying to say. You don't use your brain, you are not acting professionally. Professionals don't go and destroy. Professionals go there and take evidence. Even if it is national security, you don't go there to destroy. If you slap me on my way, I will not react. I'll use the security apparatus, root you out, and allow the law to take care of you. So it's like, what do you call it? SMS have slapped you, and you went there and decided to start destroying their items. At the end of the day, what results are you going to get out of it? The results you are looking for is in the systems. Now you have destroyed the system. How are you?
Yeah, I think we all just assumed, we know the question that's coming next, but the internet, I think your network has been disrupted. So let me come to Pastor Moses now. I know that procedural violations, partial delivery, lack of value for money, overshadowed the work that SML did. Because truthfully, they did gain some measurable impact in terms of metering systems. There was some 2.4 billion Ghana cedis additional tax that we were able to generate because of them. But because of the issues, this is where we are now. What do you say to this?
What I would say is that irrespective of the gains that we have made and the benefit that we've got from them, how you conduct yourself is very important, particularly in a situation where we already have infrastructural deficit. So we don't conduct ourselves in a way that destroys the little that we have. And so I believe that they should have been a little cautious in the approach they take. Yeah.
Thank you. Benjamin, on SML's issue, I haven't heard you yet, and I'm curious. Ben, when did you develop gray hair? I'm just noticing now. Please, talk to me about SML. I'm putting you on the spot. Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot.
I mean, the SML issue is one that I would rather not delve into. We know what we've heard in the past, especially on the back of, it's the fourth estate that had that expose on SML. I am still in a bit of limbo in respect of what exactly their full achievements have been, whether it is commensurable with what resources they've been given from the state. In other words, value for money. Yeah. Deliverables versus what is expended. Because look, if you give someone 2,000 cedis and you are expecting work the value of 2,000 cedis and you get 1,000 cedis, there are problems there. I'm not saying they are not an entity that is doing some good work, but I think it ought to be streamlined so that we, the people, we are the ones paying through our taxpayers' money, are getting value for money. That's the bottom line for me on SML.
Okay, so let's move. I just think that now that we've destroyed these equipment, how are we going to be measuring how much fuel is lifted now? Yeah. You see, for me, I think these metering systems were the best thing to happen to us. I don't, like Benjamin said, there are issues about procedural breaches and all that, but we didn't have that. We didn't have real-time monitoring. And now you've destroyed these things.
So that's something else, right? Yeah. You remember back then there was talk about the fact that that was actually not new and that there were some other mechanisms in place. I remember the MPA, the GRA. If you remember the conversation, there was talk about that. That is why I don't want to go into the full details of this. But again, I also feel if some wrongs have been done, they also ought to be pointed out. And if we are going to recoup something, it ought to be brought to bear.
All right.
I know you're going to the streets now.
Yeah, I'm going to the streets now because Benedicta Adobi-Asare is live on the ground. Remember I said we'll be bringing you some details because BECE starts today. And more than 600,000 candidates this morning heading to examination centers across the country to sit the 2025 Basic Education Certificate exam. Now, the week-long national exam marks a crucial milestone for junior high school students, determining eligibility for senior high school placement. We have a report for you, then a statement before we take you live on the ground. First, the report.
To prepare for your BECE examinations, I wish you the very best of luck. May your hard work and dedication yield excellent results. I encourage you to concentrate on your studies, prepare and stay calm, and believe in yourself. I wish you all the best as you embark on this milestone. May your efforts be rewarded with success. Good luck to all BECE candidates. I wish you the very best of luck and success.
So that is from the Education Minister. Now, this is a statement coming from the West African Examination Council, and they're saying that the West African Examinations Council wishes to inform its numerous publics that the basic education certificates examination for school and private candidates will be conducted from today, Wednesday, June 11th, to Wednesday, June 18th, 2025. Now, a total of 603,328 candidates, comprising 297,250 males and 306,078 females from 20,395 participating schools entered for the school examination. That's a huge number, and I like particularly that the female numbers are more than the males. And it goes on to say that the number of candidates that registered for this year's BECE is 5.99% higher than the 2024 entry figure, which was 569,236. With regard to the BECE for private candidates, a total entry figure of 1,666 candidates was recorded. And this made up of 858 males and 803 males. So for the private sector, looks like the males outnumber the females. Now, this year's figure is 19.49% higher than the 2024 entry figure of 1,390. So it goes on to say, the statement, that the BECE for school candidates will be conducted at 2,237 examination centers across the country, while 15 centers, mainly in the regional capitals, will be used for BECE for private candidates. And finally, similar to the 2024 examination, school candidates and some of the private candidates will be examined on the core curriculum, while other private candidates will be examined on the old syllabus. We wish to notify our prospective private candidates that this will be the last time private candidates will be examined on the old syllabus. This is an important information that we should take note of. So that's that from the statement. We have Adobia at Crown and Glory, but I also have a statement, more like a flyer from the Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, and she's saying to all BECE candidates across the country, as you begin your examinations today, it was actually released yesterday, so he said tomorrow, I send you my warmest wishes. This is a big step, and I am proud of how far you've come. Stay calm, trust your preparation, and give it your best. Your families, teachers, and communities are behind you, and so I am. So am I. May you be guided by clarity, good health, and peace of mind. So this is coming from the Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, to all BECE candidates. Now let's talk to Adobia Sari at Crown and Glory School in Bawi. Adobia, how's the atmosphere this morning?
Right, sweetie. So like you earlier mentioned, about 600,000 candidates across the country are expected to partake in the Basic Education Certificate examination this morning. The exam is starting at 9. However, they're supposed to, of course, come earlier to settle and everything. So I'm here at Crown and Glory at Bawe. It's an examination center. It's been an examination center for about 10 to 11 years. I'm told they're expecting about 222 students to write today, with 109 students coming from Crown and Glory alone, which is the host school. So we're expecting about 7 schools here. I have Rose Fair, I have Oregon International, my alma mater, I have King Edward, and I have Crown and Glory School itself. So we're expecting the others to join shortly. So I'll speak to some of the students to gauge their mood, to find out how they're feeling. Earlier when I was engaging some of the students from Crown and Glory, they were so hopeful. There's no iota of nervousness. They are doing, they're excited. They're going up and about. I spoke to one Malaika. She happens to be the head girl of the school. Is Malaika here? Yes. Hi, Malaika. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
So tell me exactly how you're feeling this morning.
I'm feeling hopeful because I always put Isaiah 41 verse 10 in my mind because the Lord said He will help us. So I'm feeling hopeful that we'll all pass our BECE this year.
Okay, so this morning they'll be taking 2 subjects. They're writing social studies and computing. Social studies is their first paper, and they write computing in the afternoon. Now, today's paper is starting at, this year's BECE is starting on Wednesday because they projected that the Eid al-Fitr will go into Saturday, hence making Monday and probably Tuesday a holiday. So this is the first time something like this is happening. BECE usually starts on Monday and ends on Friday, but this time it's starting on Wednesday and ending on Wednesday because of the Arabic students. Arabic students will be writing Arabic. The Islamic students will be writing Arabic on Wednesday. So who else from Crown and Glory is speaking to me? I spoke to Jonisha. Where's Jonisha? Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
How prepared are you for today's papers?
I would say very prepared.
Very prepared?
Yes, please.
Okay, but how do you think you and your colleagues are going to do well, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. That's amazing. I'll go to students from King Edward. Oh, don't go back. Are you okay? Are all of you? Give me some morale. How are you feeling? Say something. Yeah, oh, they're very pretty and they're handsome boys and girls. I don't even know how to speak. So all of you are nice. Okay, I just want you to feel good. Okay, this is nothing. I wrote some 10 years ago. When I saw the paper, I realized I was nervous for nothing. But you tell me, how exactly are you feeling?
Not nervous, feeling normal, 100% prepared because we learned, so we are here to deliver.
So this is a 1-1-1 for all of you?
Yes.
Oh, beautiful. So that's from King Edward students. I'll come to Oregon International School, my alma mater. Oh, Oregon, don't do this to me. How are you?
I'm doing well.
What's your name?
Samuela.
Oh, beautiful. How are you feeling and how prepared are you for this paper?
Feeling very confident, and I hope that we all do well because I know we can do well.
Social studies, they won't say a cocoa pan. So are you all getting 1-1?
Yes.
And then how prepared are you for computing too? Tell me, you don't said period, like per. Okay. Hey, the lady who said a period is running away, but okay, please, let's go. What's up? Tell me, how prepared are you for computing too? Come to me. Who said shoot up? I'm Lisa.
We are very prepared about computing. In fact, our teacher is one of the best teachers in this whole region. Okay. Our teacher, he has prepared us very well. Computing is in our mind. It's our daily bread.
Oh my God! Congratulations in advance. Okay, so Rose Fair. I have Rose Fair. How are you feeling? Oh, I'm not getting your energy. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling good.
I hope you are not nervous. Social studies there is nothing, right? So, is it 1-1 for all of you?
Yes.
What was your biggest challenge preparing for BECE?
Our biggest challenge for preparing for the BECE was, how should we say?
I don't know. Okay, so what went into the preparation? What went into how did you prepare for all of this? I mean, this is your first,
The learning, and even when we are learning, no break, every day we are learning. So, Auntie, it was, somehow good.
I'll throw that same questions to students. So we have a new set of students here. They are from, what's your school? Care Guide, please get close to me. Care Guide, I need one of you to tell me what went into the preparations for BECE. What are some of the things you did? What measures have you put in place that is making you believe that you really blow this paper?
Well, we've really prepared and we are praying to God that we will pass. And we have, whatever our teachers have taught us, we have kept it. We have also taken advice from our parents and we know we are going to pass this BECE.
You're speaking like you're nervous, or that's just how you are?
I am nervous.
Okay, but I need you to tell me. You tell me the preparations that went into this.
A lot of peer teaching and prayer. Just a lot of it, yeah. Generally, that's it.
Okay, so that's a spiritus guy right there. He said he did a lot of preparation and a lot of prayer, which is very, very important. I need the Crown and Glory students to tell me, my dear, you tell me which preparations went. What are some of the things you've done specially to make you so hopeful that you are winning this?
I am very optimistic that we are going to pass this examination because I believe without a shadow of doubt that we have the best of teachers. They teach from both their heads and from their heart, and they teach us to our understanding. So, and they pray with us. They pray very well with us, and they encourage and give us motivation.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So I would like to speak to some of the teachers. I spoke to Mr. Alote earlier. He's a teacher from Crown and Glory. Mr. Alote, please join. So he took them through a lot of, he's one of your teachers, right? He took them through a lot of preparations prior to the BECE. So, sir, I want to talk to you about examination malpractice. You know, over the years, we've been recording cases of examination malpractice. What do you have to say about it? And do you see any of your students indulging in that?
That is quite a difficult question to answer. As to whether I envisage some of our students engaging in that, the future is yet to be experienced. However, considering the fact that we have taken them through a lot, there has been a lot of preparations. I do not think that any of them is harboring the feeling of engaging in any form of examination malpractice. So I can confidently say that they are so prepared that they are not ready to engage in any form of examination malpractice.
Have you recorded any examination malpractice in this center before?
I think about 2 years ago, we had the hint of a school doing that, but I think it was quickly resolved and everything went back to its normal situation. Beyond that, I cannot recollect ever recording any form of malpractice in this center.
Okay, all right. So you're confident your students are blowing these papers?
I'm more than confident that
amazing.
They are well prepared, they are adequately prepared, and I can confidently see that they are going to score. If there are more than 10 subjects, they can even score more than 10 ones. Yeah. Yes, that's what I can see.
That's amazing. So that was Mr. Alote there. He is one of the teachers of Crown and Glory. There are still other teachers around who are here for their students. They are a bit far from me, so it's a bit far-fetched. But I'll speak to one more person. He's the external and internal coordinator. Mr. Bright, please join me here. Of the... Oh, okay. You have a lot of fans, so anyway, please, what are some of the preparations you teachers and invigilators have done towards this exam?
Okay, before any examination, what we do is that we take the children or the students through examination preparation, that is writing of mocks. Then we mark, we look at where they did not do well, then we correct them, then we write the next mock. So for our school, for instance, we wrote 9 mocks, and these help them to prepare adequately. And when children or students are adequately prepared, it takes away fear and examination anxiety. So you can look in their various faces, in their faces, that they don't have any anxiety. The anxiousness is gone, so they are hopeful, they are ready, and they came here yesterday to look at their sitting places. So everybody is ready for today's examination.
Okay, indeed, speaking to these children, I can tell that they are ready, they are brimming with a lot of hope, and only a few of them are nervous. So, Sweetie and Ben, that's exactly how the mood is here at Crown and Glory in Bawe. Over to you in the studio. We are wishing them all the best, of course.
Adobe Asari right there. Thank you so much for bringing us those lively commentary and preparations. I like that the teacher said it was a mock, 9 mocks they've marked and all that. Some of them said they fasted and prayed. Benjamin, when did you write BECE?
Why are you trying to?
I want to guess your age. But yeah, so that's what's happening.
It was in the 1990s.
1990s. My goodness. Pastor Moses, what about you? I mean, this is what the students are saying, but 1990s, yeah. Jesus Christ. Looks like I'm the youngest one here. Dr. Kwame Asante, we've heard from students and teachers preparing for the BECE. Someone in academia yourself, What are your thoughts? Does this bring back any loving memories for you?
I think Kwame Ashanti is out. I'm the only one there now.
Go ahead, Dr. Mohammed.
I think it brings back a lovely memory to me when I took it some years back. The anxiousness and the anxiety was there in trying to take up that particular all-important assignment, because that led me to my senior high school and eventually to Legon to pursue all my programs. And I think that it is really a very exciting moment for the children as I listen to them. But that notwithstanding, I just have one or two issues to pass on the examination. Now, it's about the way and manner in which we allow these little ones to write so many subjects. I think that we have to really look at that and maybe just allow them to write 5 subjects, and that could be okay. Maybe the 4 course plus design and technology, something related to what do you call it, BT or something like that, so that at least that can help them to be able to prepare and write very well. If we inundate them with so many programs or so many subjects, it's going to be very difficult for them. I remember my time we were writing about 10 subjects, which is a lot just to take in for these little ones. So let's be measurable with some of the things that we do.
Right.
And if you look at education, people look at it from 2 different perspectives in Germany. They have people who go to the technical area and they have people who go to the regular area. So let's look at that. If people are carved out for the technical area, let's train them for that. If they are carved out for the other program, let's also take them for that.
All right.
And my last
so, Dr. Mohammed, we've exhausted our time. Thank you so much. Yes, do that in 30 seconds.
Yeah, the nurses issue, I did not say that they cannot take book and research allowance. If they are actually with the nursing training schools training the people, and they are not given book and research allowance, they must be given, because that is very important to them. They cannot teach without research. For that, I will vote for them on that.
Okay.
But if it is for all nurses who are not in the classroom, then they are not obliged to take book and research allowance. But those in the classroom, they are obliged to take book and research. If they are not doing that, the government should do that for them. It's really very important.
Point made. Thank you so much, Dr. Jabri Mohammed. And I'll take final comments from you, Pastor Moses.
Yes, what I would say is that, still on education, I would just say that sometimes how we describe education, like or examination, we describe it as World War II, World War I, etc. So you are made or you're programmed to see it as a war, a battle, a fight. But that is not what it really is. Education is meant to bring out what is in a child. That's what it means. The word for education, the Latin word for education, actually means bringing out something from another thing. So education is meant to bring out the potentials of an individual. Somebody may be very good in practicals. Somebody may also be very good in theories.
Okay.
So how do we design our academic curriculum in a way that brings out what the potential of individuals rather than just one-time writing of exams?
Thank you so much. But you know, another reason why they take the World Cup is because at that level, when you fail, that's it for you. Unlike why, well, recently I've heard that they want to introduce some sort of NOVDEC for BECE as well. So then it gives them an option. But that's it. We have some interesting comments for you as well. Benjamin, over to you. You're smiling.
A little
so
bird whispered to us that tomorrow's your birthday. Is that the case? Oh, wow. Well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
And let me just say that I've enjoyed having you on the platform.
Oh, that's beautiful.
On this review today.
That's
You've shared some very interesting thoughts. Maybe those of us from the 90s.
Oh, look at you.
Let me also do this courtesy of Sami or Dame. Happy birthday to Solomon Atim Aswala, former Chief Director of the Ministry of Works and Housing. We wish you more years of fulfillment and fruitfulness in Jesus' name. A joyous day to you, sir. It's coming from Sami or Dame, from yours truly and the entirety of the Multimedia Group. We celebrate you. Who joined us for the news review this morning?
Those who joined us for the news review this morning, Dr. Kwame Asante, Head Center for European Studies at the University of Ghana and a political scientist. We also had Dr. Jabri Mohammed. He's a senior lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School. And of course, we had Pastor Moses joining us right here in the studio. And Pastor Moses, thank you so much for joining us. So stick and stay. Coming up next, we're serving you our big stories right after this break.